Some sequels expand worlds, some deepen characters, some justify their existence so well that you forget the original. And then there are the other sequels, the one that take everything audiences loved and somehow ask, what if we made it louder, longer, more expensive, and significantly worse? Today, we are talking about the worst movie sequels ever made. From Hollywood disasters to Bollywood's franchise fever to South Indian sequels that proved even massive success isn't immune to creative exhaustion. Because sequels aren't ruining cinema, lazy sequels are.
Ready.
Speed 2 Cruise Control. The original was simple, a speeding bus, constant tension, relentless momentum. Then came the sequel. They replaced the bus with a cruise ship because apparently somebody looked at speed and thought, you know what audiences loved? Public transport operating at a leisurely pace. Hangover Part 3. The first two films weren't just raunchy comedies. Underneath all the insanity, they were weirdly about friendship, the wolf pack, the brotherhood. Then, Part 3 decided to become a crime thriller. The jokes weren't landing, the emotional core disappeared, and by the end, it felt like even the characters wanted to go home. Thor, Love and Thunder. This one hurts because Taika Waititi gave us one of Marvel's best reinventions with Ragnarok. It was funny, stylish, and heartfelt. Then, Love and Thunder took every strength and dialed it to 11. The jokes overwhelmed the drama, and one of Thor's darkest comic storylines became an improv session. Remember, more comedy isn't always more entertaining. Sometimes it's just noise.
Giant goats! Oh, look at those! They are wonderful. Oh, look at that! Those things are beautiful.
Joker, Folie, Deux. This one genuinely broke my heart. The first film gave us one of the greatest comic book performances ever. Joaquin Phoenix didn't play a villain, he played a tragedy. Then the sequel trapped that performance inside a musical experiment that felt actively uninterested in being a sequel. The songs interrupted momentum, the tension vanished. And instead of expanding Arthur Fleck's psychology, it reduced him to repetition. Remember, bold choices deserve respect, but bold choices still have to work. The Matrix Resurrections. The Matrix changed cinema. It questioned reality, revolutionized action, inspired generations. Resurrections mostly questioned whether this movie needed to exist. Meta-commentary replaced storytelling, nostalgia replaced innovation, and audiences left wondering whether taking the blue pill would have been the better choice. Jurassic World Dominion. Dominion wasn't terrible because it lacked resources, it was terrible because it lacked focus. Legacy became marketing, spectacle became distraction, and the dinosaurs somehow stopped being the most interesting thing on screen. Race 3. Remember when Race was actually clever? Twists within twists, characters you couldn't trust, a thriller that treated audiences like participants in the game. Then Race 3 happened. The plot became background noise. Logic packed its bags and left halfway through, and somehow style became a substitute for storytelling. The biggest plot twist? People missing the days when Saif Ali Khan was driving the franchise. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 and 3. The original worked because it balanced horror, comedy and psychological tension. It had atmosphere, it had Akshay Kumar's restrained charisma, but the sequels, they discovered that nostalgia sells. Just say Manjulika every few scenes and watch the audience clap.
आज ये दरवाजा खोल के मैं मंजुलिका का चैप्टर हमेशा के लिए क्लोज कर दूंगा।
मंजुलिका कौन है? आमी मंजुलिका।
Especially part 3, which felt less like a story and more like a reminder that intellectual property is forever. Love Aajkal. The 2009 film understood that love changes with time. It was messy, human and relatable.
और वो सब तो होगा ही, वो सब लॉजिकल है, ऐसा होता ही है. जिंदगी बदलती रहती है, जिंदगी चलती जाती है आगे और हमें उसके साथ चलना पड़ता है.
The 2020 version remembered the structure but forgot the soul.
तुम मुझे तंग करने लगे.
It tried to recreate nostalgia without understanding what made audiences fall in love with the original.
तू हमेशा करेक्ट बात बोल देती है जाने मन.
Ek Villain returns. The first Ek Villain wasn't perfect, but it had emotion, pain, a villain you remembered. The sequel had bigger stars, bigger scale, and somehow left a much smaller impact. Because suspense isn't created through budget, it's created through investment. Now let's take a look at the rapid fire franchise Hall of Shame. Each louder, each bigger, each convinced that if one explosion is entertaining, then 50 must be cinema. Indian 2. Decades later, Senapati returned, and what should have been a powerful reflection on corruption became an overstuffed spectacle. If the original had anger, the sequel had lectures. A beloved character deserves revolution, not repetition. Double is smart. First, Smart Shankar thrived on chaotic energy. I didn't really enjoy that, but Double is Smart doubled everything. The problem, it doubled the wrong things. More cringe, more vulgarity, more noise, less charm. When mass becomes an excuse for laziness, audiences notice, even if it takes time. Pushpa 2 The Rule. Now this one is controversial because Pushpa 2 made absurd amounts of money. And here's the uncomfortable truth. A movie can be a blockbuster and still be disappointing. Pushpa The Rise introduced a dangerous, unpredictable anti-hero, but the sequel kept trying to top itself. Bigger action, bigger set pieces, bigger moments. But bigger isn't deeper. The emotional sharpness dulled. The antagonist felt weaker, and instead of evolving Pushpa's character, it often celebrated him without challenging him. Remember, success at the box office doesn't automatically equal creative success. Sometimes, audiences buy tickets because of what part 1 made them feel. Drishyam 3. This one hurts to say, because Drishyam and Drishyam 2 are masterclasses in suspense. George Clooney's story already had one of the most satisfying conclusions in Indian cinema. Drishyam 3 isn't terrible, but it raises an important question. At what point do we stop telling stories and start extending brands? Remember, some endings earn the right to stay endings. Studios aren't stupid. Franchises are safer investments. Audiences reward familiarity. Marketing is easier. Opening weekends are guaranteed. So why gamble on originality when nostalgia practically prints money? The problem is when bigger budgets replace better writing. When fan service replaces character development. When more becomes mistaken for better. And somehow we have trained ourselves to accept it. Because great sequels exist as well. So let's take a look at them too. These films didn't exist because someone saw dollar signs. They existed because someone had another story worth telling. They respected what came before and had the courage to become something more. That's the difference. Cinema doesn't have a sequel problem, it has an imagination problem. Sequels aren't ruining movies, lazy sequels are. Because audiences don't show up hoping to hate these films. We buy tickets because we remember how the originals made us feel. We want to fall in love again, to laugh again, to be surprised again. And maybe that's why bad sequels sting so much, because they remind us that nostalgia can be exploited. But great sequels remind us of something else. That stories can evolve, characters can grow, and sometimes the second act can be even better than the first. A sequel shouldn't exist because a movie made money. It should exist because someone had something worth saying.